Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. We are glad to have you with us. We'll have a lot to explore inside this half-hour journey through today's pages designed to inform and inspire. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Buckle up. The journey begins now.
Did you know you can vote without your new voter ID card? Once you're registered to vote, that is, your name is on the voters list, you can vote in the upcoming local government election. If you don't have your new ID card, simply go to your polling station on election day and our trained election day workers will assist you. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Office of Jamaica.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your WatchJIS News for Monday, August 25, 2025. More than 6,000 residents in Portland who frequently experience intermittent or no water supply have been assured that work to remedy this will begin before the end of this year. The assurance comes from the Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, who was addressing a community meeting last week. He told residents that a $65 million deposit was expected to be made in October to ensure construction could begin before the end of the year on the Crystal Spring and Orange Bay water supply system. The $658 million project will be done in two phases, undertaken by Rural Water Supply Limited.
The Water Resources Authority spent 1 year testing the flows, meaning ensuring that during the worst of the drought, you had sufficient water to support a $658 million system. So the first box and the first point I want you to understand is that yes, we have tested the Crystal Spring source and it can accommodate everything from here to the foot of Black Hill and in between. All right, it can accommodate significant population growth as well.
Phase 1, which may take up to 14 months to complete, will involve construction of the intake as well as the installation of transmission pipeline and pumping equipment at the water source. A 150,000-gallon bolted steel tank will also be constructed. Member of Parliament for the area, Darrell Vaz, assured residents that the project was not mere talk, but a serious gesture.
This is a solution, a permanent solution, to give the areas that don't have water, and to give the areas that have water sometimes and don't have sometimes a consistent supply of water.
The Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, has designated a total of 215 locations for the over 45,000 special services electors to cast their ballots this Friday, August 29. The EOJ says it's finalizing preparations to conduct the polls for the 27,536 election day workers, 12,793 police electors, and 5,126 military officers. To facilitate their voting, 327 polling stations have been identified at 215 locations, including schools, churches, police stations, community centers, and military bases. The Representation of the People Act makes provisions for election day workers, police, and military to vote ahead of the rest of the population to ensure that they are available for duty on election day. Special services electors who do not use the opportunity to vote this Friday, August 29, will not be able to do so on September 3 because their names have been extracted from the general voters list. The names on the voters lists used on August 29 will not be on the civilian list used next Monday. Police and military personnel have been assigned to vote at the voting location closest to where they are based or stationed. The ballots will later be sorted and transferred to the respective EOJ returning officers to be counted on September 3. The EOJ says it worked closely with the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defense Force to ensure that the lists for police and military electors were prepared on time. Election day workers, police, and military electors may visit www.ecj.com.jm and click on Check My Status to find out where they are to vote. Meanwhile, as the September 3 general election date draws closer, general electors are being encouraged to confirm their voter registration status and polling information ahead of the day. The call comes from the Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown, speaking on our current affairs program, Get the Facts.
if you need to know whether or not you're on the list or where you need to go to vote on election day, there are various channels that you can use. One, you could call or visit our local offices, or you could call into our head office at Duke Street, or you could go on our website, www.ecj.com.gm, and then click on query, and just follow the instruction. And that will lead you to give you all the information that you need in terms of your polling station number, where it is located.
Mr. Brown reveals that about 7,250 polling stations will be utilized across the 63 constituencies. He assures that electors who do not have a voter ID card will still be permitted to cast their ballot on election day as long as their names appear on the voters list.
But however, if you don't have an ID, the process is a little bit longer. In other words, you'd have to so satisfy the presiding officer that you are the person standing in front of him or her based on the name on the list. And then the presiding officer will require of you to take an oath.
While voting is facilitated without a voter ID card, Mr. Brown is encouraging electors who are without their renewed ID card to collect them from their EOJ constituency office. Recently, the EOJ reported that approximately 120,000 voter ID cards were in its offices waiting to be collected by electors. The Director of Elections emphasizes that having the voter ID card on election day makes the process quicker and smoother, resulting in shorter lines and wait times for persons. In other news, the Ministry of Education is reporting a significant decline in teacher resignations this summer, marking a positive shift from the trends observed in recent years. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Dr. Kassan Troop, says the development reflects proactive measures to close staffing gaps and safeguard the delivery of quality education across the island.
We are seeing numbers of teachers returning to Jamaica. We have seen a dramatic decline in the number of resignations that we would have been seeing at this time in the former years where we had the crisis.
To strengthen recruitment, the ministry has continued the system of pre-approvals, which allows principals to hire teachers for vacant positions while official paperwork is being finalized. Additionally, support from the Ministry of Finance has made it possible for more than 170 retired teachers to be re-engaged, once approved by school boards.
And those teachers have been given the opportunity, once the board finds them suitable, to stay and extend themselves.
The Permanent Secretary further highlights that over 1,000 new graduates from teachers' colleges will be entering the classroom this year, boosting the available pool of educators. In cases where subject-specific gaps remain, particularly in mathematics and other critical areas, the ministry has turned to virtual learning solutions to ensure students continue to receive quality instruction. And finally, the Rockfort Mineral Bath Complex in Kingston, which was closed during the COVID-19 pandemic, has reopened to the public. The reopening follows completion of the first phase of a 5-year rehabilitation program. This is being done under a 25-year lease agreement between the Caribbean Cement Company Limited and the Ministry of Culture through the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, JNHT.
As the government of Jamaica continues to open up opportunities for the Jamaican people to access a healthy and productive lifestyle, locations like Rockfort Mineral Bath have a role to play. This reopening is just another milestone in a future of cooperation, social stimulation, and economic value for all.
Upcoming phases of the project will include the construction of accommodations to transform the facility into a premier heritage and wellness destination. Entrance fees for the newly reopened facility are $700 for adults and $500 for seniors 55 years and older, as well as children 4 to 12 years old. Visitors not using the pool will pay $350, while children under 4 years old will enter free of cost. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Taking care of your teeth and oral health is significant to one's overall health and well-being. In the next feature, we'll get experts' knowledge on how to take care of your oral health to support good nutrition, personal hygiene, and confidence.
Dental health is really important because the mouth is the entry point of nutrition in our bodies. And if it is not functioning properly, then we run the risk of not getting the correct nutrition. Actually, we refer more so to oral health these days than dental health. If we have bad teeth that impair our ability to chew properly, then we will tend to keep away from certain food groups that could be challenging to chew. People with bad oral hygiene, people who use and eat, drink a lot of sweets. You can have decay, and you can also have, along with it, periodontal gum disease. You know, the big one that jump out at me is periodontal disease, gum disease. That is when the gum begin to be bleedy, sore, puffy, and just generally uncomfortable. It carries some social consequences, bad breath, and you tend to lose self-confidence. It's so important to have a consultation with your dental personnel, whether the dental surgeon or the hygienist, who would be able to diagnose the needed treatment for such a condition. All sugars are bad, but everything is in moderation. The Jamaica Dental Association endorsed the efforts of the government in reducing the levels of sugar in the bottled beverages. The aim is to get it to 2.5 milligrams in 100 mils by the year 2023. It would be roughly 2.5 teaspoonfuls. The current level that the government has aimed for, and it was introduced the end of January, is 5 milligrams per 100 mils. So that is coming from 6.5, so it's a gradual reduction. And the taste will be not so significantly different. As a dentist, I recommend the soft, but I'm aware that a lot of patients tend towards the harder ones. It does some damage by cutting a little line at the neck of the teeth, just where the teeth meet the gum line. So we recommend the soft toothbrush. It's really important to begin by putting the brush on the gum. A lot of people avoid the gum because they tend to think that it makes the gum bleedy. It's the exact opposite. It is as a result of not brushing the gum why there is some amount of bleediness. And you should brush in the direction of growth. The top ones, you brush them down in a circular motion, and the bottom ones, you brush them up, covering all surfaces. Don't forget your tongue, and as I said before, the gum itself. Flossing is very, very important. If you try to imagine that the toothbrush does not get between the teeth, the only thing that can remove the material that will accumulate between the teeth would be the dental floss. The technique is also important. Hold it short, get it past that little tight area, and gently bring it down into the gum, that little crevice of the gum, and remove it. Remove material that might have accumulated there. And we recommend 6 monthly checkup. If you tend to be prone to decays, we would really like to see you every 6 months. If you have been checked and you are pretty much okay, a yearly visit would be adequate. Extraction really is the last resort. With regular examination, we can pick up using x-rays and visual examination early decays, and these can be effectively dealt with by regular fillings. If it has gone too far and it is now in the nerve, there are other procedures called root canals that can be done. And sometimes we need to cover the entire tooth with a crown to bring it back to usefulness. If your teeth are malaligned, just not aesthetically pleasing, or are causing some kind of effect on your body, then they should be straightened. Orthodontic treatment or braces simply mean moving the teeth through bone to put them in a more harmoniously pleasing position. It's important because you are moving teeth through bone, and the harmony between the joint, the soft tissues, and the teeth must be respected. Not respecting it can result in pain in the joint, headaches, and just a general sense of discomfort in your mouth. It's important to visit your dentist regularly and without fear, because with new technology, and we now have many new dentists in our system, where it's not difficult to get an appointment to see a dentist on a regular basis. There's always a needle, but outside of that, there's absolutely no pain.
Back to school time here in Jamaica. Parents, instead of tossing out those gently used textbooks,
we are encouraging you across Jamaica. Parents, you have children who have come through one grade going on to another grade, and you have textbooks that are in good condition. Please don't just get rid of them and set them aside. Let us exchange them with other parents who could use that, so they don't have to fork out all of that money to buy a new set of books. And you can maybe do an exchange with a parent who is with a child in a higher grade that your child will be progressing to.
Save some money and help someone else gear up for the new school year. It's a win-win for everyone.
In April 2025, the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay, St. James achieved a significant milestone on its journey to renewal with the start of phased reoccupation of the main building. The opening of the administrative department on the main building, which is in its final phase of comprehensive rehabilitation, provides a view of the modern look and feel all other areas of the facility will exhibit on completion. Key features of the work on the facility include improved ventilation and lighting systems, upgraded IT infrastructure to support efficient operation, and enhanced accessibility features to staff and visitors. Modernized office space to promote productivity and staff rejuvenation is also provided.
Some may argue why we start with administration, why not with ward space? The truth is that a plant requires management in the first instance, because all the moving parts have to be coordinated. And to put in ward space without having a kind of management coordination and presence, or an IT system to track records and to ensure that the overarching coordination takes place, would make it a bigger logistics challenge than it would be otherwise. So we're really starting where we need to start, deliberately so, as part of phasing in the full-fledged operation of the institution.
This ultra-modern, comfortable environment with all new furnishings will now house the Office of the Chief Executive Officer, accounting, procurement, office management, and general administrative services. The block also features additional critical facilities to include a kitchenette, restrooms, reception, and waiting areas. It is expected to boost morale and enhance staff's ability to serve patients more effectively.
This moment represents a significant step. Our dedicated administrative team will now be able to work together under one roof and on the one compound, strengthening our capacity to serve both our staff and patients more effectively. I want to acknowledge the unwavering support of the community and the staff, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Western Region Health Authority, and all our partners whose hard work and resilience has brought us to this day.
It's a lot of humility that we come here to celebrate. The small wins that combined will become the big win. And the big win obviously means a win, not just for the staff who are here, but for the people, importantly, who will benefit. Today is a good day in public health.
According to the Minister of Health and Wellness, it's a transformation that epitomizes modernity and a model to replicate in healthcare across the country, including the new Western Child and Adolescent Hospital being built next door on the Cornwall Regional Compound.
We know this is the final phase, but also still a journey that we have to travel. And so we're under no illusions that the work is complete.
The rehabilitation of the main building at Cornwall Regional Hospital was triggered following a ventilation problem and further detection of leaking pipes, faulty electrical system, and damage to the roof and support structure of the building.
When we talk about doing it right, the government of the day said, abandon the patchwork. Let us just build a new Cornwall Regional Hospital. So we went back to the drawing board, brought in the architects, brought in the engineers, hired overseas support, and we rescoped the project. And as a result of that rescoping, we have determined an estimate of some 23.5 billion, which includes all new equipment.
The main building was stripped down to the bare bones with all windows and doors removed, electrical and piping systems, roof and chimney cleared for replacement with all new material and furnishing. Critical repairs were also done to correct structural damage. With the admin department first to be back on the block operating, several other departments and services are on the schedule for phased reopening over the next year. These include a server room, medical records, general stores, dietary services, and wards. The facility will also have a new maternity suite, intensive care unit, accident and emergency department, and nursery and operating theaters. It is to be outfitted with new technology and infection prevention control finishes. All furnishing and equipment to outfit the building will be new, including diagnostic machines. The extensive repairs and overhaul of the hospital will total some $23.5 billion, including the cost for relocation of services and the restoration of the main building, set for completion in the first quarter of 2026.
$1.8 billion has been spent to ensure that service provision continued outside of the main building. So that's what was spent to double the Mount Salem Clinic to be a proper accident and emergency, establish the diagnostic center, convert the nurses' quarters into inpatient care, set up the 2 additional operating theaters down at Falmouth. That was spent in a way to preserve the services, but indirectly also expanding the quality of service provision in the region. To date, $3.9 billion has been spent on the main building, and that building out continues.
Information technology in education is erasing barriers to learning as it provides students greater access to knowledge. In these few remaining minutes of Jamaica Magazine, an app developer shares insights into his technological innovation aimed at assisting students to prepare for primary exit profile exams.
What I liked about the app is that it helped students to understand basics in different subject areas.
I found it wonderful because it helped me to, in my language arts, it helped me to pass my exam.
PepTutor is a free application that works on all Android devices by default for students preparing for the primary exit profile exam to practice with. They can talk to the device, whatever device it is. If it's a smartphone, tablet, or Google Home device, or a smart TV, once it's Android. And it asks them questions and they can respond by either typing or talking to the phone.
Talk to PepTutor. Sure, let's get PepTutor.
The idea came out of a discussion that was on Twitter where persons were complaining about the exam, how difficult it is and how difficult it is to find questions to practice. So, being in IT and always trying to use technology to solve problems, I decided to use technology to try to help them. Currently, we have science, mathematics, and language arts, and we're working on adding social studies and the ability questions. Before now, I got questions from the practice exams that the students were using to prepare for the PEP exam. And now I have a teacher from my primary school, which is Wakefield Primary School. She's assisting me to put the questions together because I'm not a teacher, I don't know how to test students. So she's preparing the questions and I'm just adding them to it. The app works by simply asking the students questions, and it asks multiple choice questions and short answer questions. So if a parent can sit and go through the questions with the student, if the answer that is provided by the student is incorrect, the app will tell the student that the answer is incorrect and tell them which one is correct or which answer is a correct answer. It doesn't show you how to work out the questions. So if it's a maths question and it says 2 + 3 is 5, it won't show you how to add 2 and 3, but it tells you that the answer is 5 and whatever answer you gave is incorrect. Just like any other exam, is to keep the students practicing constantly. You don't want to wait until the last minute, and put them under additional stress and pressure. So from September or even before, during whatever holidays, to have the students, go through the different subject areas, sit with them on the weekends and help them to get prepared. The PEP app will definitely assist students right across the board, whether they're rich, poor, or whether they're in the country or in town, getting better results in the PEP exams. I believe the PepTutor app will assist in us achieving our Vision 2030 goal by making access to education a lot easier for students, whether in Kingston or whether in urban or rural areas. And I think, by utilizing technology, will make learning more fun for students, and they will eventually do better.
Our half-hour journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine ends right here for today. But please join us again tomorrow on this station for more news, features, and information you can use to live, work, raise families, do business, and of course, retire in paradise. In the meantime, visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Till next time, walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.